Hey, Vinny Milk is back with another practice baits video. This is going to be my third and probably my last one on this. And just, practice baits that are underutilized aren't really viewed as practice baits. But something, and when I refer to practice baits, it's something that you can cover a lot of water with and really determine what the fish are doing, whether it be mood-wise or how they're holding and relating to certain things. So the third one, and this one is, we're going into, like I did the glide bait, was more specialized. We're going to another one that I'm going to consider more specialized. Sure, you can fish in a number of different ways. Sure, it can be effective in other ways that I'm talking about. But when it really excels as a practice bait, and it really helps me out, is in this situation. So this one is your 4 to 6 inch swim bait. And I'm not just talking about what I would consider like a grub style, like a Keitech, which we used to call those paddle tail grubs. I'm talking about swim baits like this guy right here. This one's a 316 shad, Huddleston grass minnow, or Huddleston shad. And these are like 4-inch baits. Another 316 bait. You also got the rising sun. You got a few, there's a number of 4 to 6 inch swim baits that will fit this build. It's just some of the ones that I throw. What does this allow me to do? Well, this allows me in ultra clear water, I'll say clear water to ultra clear water, and places like Lake Mead, Havasu, a Table Rock type fishery. I think places out east, in your northern bodies of water where the smallmouth exists, or like maybe a Hartwell or something. I'm not familiar with the water clarity there. You need those like really clear water where, a fish gets a really good look at a bait. Now, sure, you can go with the, what I call the glide baits, but this bait is a little more versatile than that. You can get it down deep, you can get it in cover. Like you notice on this grass minnow, this hook is actually weedless, which you can do the same thing with like these other baits that I've shown you. Like these, like a mag draft, for instance, the freestyle. This happens to be a weedless 316 rising sun in a 5-inch. Sure, you can go bigger, and I usually do that when I'm targeting bigger fish, but these little 4 to 6 inch swim baits, they do something for me when I'm looking for fish. One, it tells me how aggressive they are because they will draw some vicious strikes, but two, you get a lot of followers regardless. And what you can see is in clear water, you can tell where the fish are coming from. You can see them coming off the bottom, or you can see them coming from a piece of structure or cover. Kind of gives them away in the mood. And normally, sometimes they won't chase in ultra clear water, especially on a calm days, like a spinner bait or even chatterbait, or sometimes they don't even care for a jig, which a jig is not it can be a good practice bait where we're talking about covering a lot of water. But when you have those situations where you're trying to cover a lot of water, you're trying to see what the fish are doing in the clear water, it's these baits. And the good thing about these 4 to 6 inch swim baits, and I'm going to keep this short, like I did the other couple of videos, is when you look at these, most of them don't go over a couple ounces. So I think the heaviest one here that I typically throw would be this shad. Other than that, what this enables the average guy to do is not have to break the bank and get a whole new setup. Like I do have swim bait rods, but a lot of guys, especially that haven't grown up out west, I know it's getting more prevalent in other parts of the country, they might not have these giant rigs for throwing big swim baits. But if you're in the 4 to 6 inch range and you're utilizing this in a tournament situation or just practice figuring out fish, you can get away with throwing even, like I throw some of this stuff on this kind of rig, which is a 6/8 medium extra fast. I would suggest a lot of, when you go up to that 6 inch range, you go to that medium heavy, maybe a 7-footer or something. And I like higher gear ratio reels just because, especially practicing, just get that bait away from the fish. So when I see them coming, I take it away from them. I just want to see that they're there. Get a gauge on the size. In clear water, you can really see and gauge, one, numbers of fish, but two, size. You obviously utilize your electronics, but when I'm using this, I can see these fish come out. And sometimes, especially we're getting into this time of year in the summer, you might see little wolf packs. And you can really see what you have in that area and gauge their mood. I want to show you another one here. This one's kind of funny or kind of fun to throw because, people think these swim baits is something you do mainly subsurface. Well, some baits like this are actually a top water. So yeah, top water is another interesting, search bait and effective, especially going into this time of year. But a swim bait, these swim baits too, that's one thing. It doesn't matter the time of year, to be totally honest. I use them for practice even in wintertime because it has that type of drawing power even from sluggish fish or fish where the water temperature is around the 50-degree mark. they will come and check it out, or you'll feel them hit it, or sometimes you can feel them just kind of mouth it or grab the tail or whatever. But what that does, you're saying, well, you didn't catch, it gives it away. That's the whole point of doing this for, in practice. They're giving themselves away, and it allows you just to develop that plan and get into that process of, developing a plan to really lock in and see what you're going to do for the, either that day or the next coming days. And then, too, the other alternative of throwing this, hey man, it does get bit and it gets big fish. A lot of times I'll have these tied on the 4 to 6 inches, is because it does tend to draw, a bigger bite, and it's a way to get a kicker fish. But anyway, like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.